everyone. Thanks for coming tonight. Are you having a great time?
Yeah!
My name is Doaa Hanafy, and it's so good to be here with you at CSU Riverina Playhouse. I'm a lecturer and researcher in medical science and pathology at Charles Sturt University here in Wagga. You might have noticed that I have a strong accent, not like people here in Wagga. And this is because I was not born or raised here in Wagga. Actually, I was born in Egypt, and the next logical step for me was to move to Wagga. So I moved to Wagga from Egypt with my husband, my lovely daughter, and my accent. My daughter was little when we came. She was 4 years old, now she's turning 14, and she's such a local at Wagga that her first language is English, not Arabic anymore. So life is great here, we are happy here in Australia, we are having a great time in Wagga, but actually my daughter has picked up the Australian words, so one day she came and said, "Mom, let's have briquet at Macca's." And actually I couldn't understand her. Another day she came from school and said, "Oh, I had a muzzy bite." I can speak Arabic, and I thought I could speak English, but definitely I'm still not across the Aussie slang language, like brolly, chokers, or even Barbie. So I'm trying hard to re-teach my daughter Arabic so we can understand each other. I'm an Egyptian mom raising an Australian daughter. You might have also noticed that I'm wearing a headscarf, which is not usual here in Wagga, but actually there are advantages to having a headscarf. It provides instant sun protection, it provides extra warmth in such a cool weather, and my daughter can easily find me in the clouds, even though I'm short. Today, I'm going to talk about my research. I'm looking at how the brain changes with aging. Specifically, I'm looking at how food and drink can change your brain. And I'm not talking about how my daughter sneaks at night time to the pantry to get a chocolate bar because she's craving sugar. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is how food and drink can protect you from getting Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a disease that kills. It makes you lose your memory. Millions of people around the world are having this disease. 1 in 10 Australians over the age of 65 are affected by this disease. Some of you here today might know someone who is having this disease. My late beloved grandma had Alzheimer's. We were really close to each other. We had really fun together. She used to tell me bedtime stories at night time. She was really great at that, and we had so much fun. But when she got Alzheimer's, she couldn't even remember me. It's really an emotional disease, and my heart goes out for anyone experiencing this and for carers for people with Alzheimer's. People think that this disease is an old person's disease, but actually there is what is called early or younger onset Alzheimer's, which affect people in their 40s, so it is really scary. And unfortunately, there is no treatment so far for this disease. Current medications can only delay the progression of the disease. So today I work on Alzheimer's because I would have loved for grandma not to have that happen to her. Yeah. And for any person having this disease or knowing someone having this disease, not to have that happen to him and to get some help. But when people know that I work on Alzheimer's, they usually make this dreadful joke. "Oh, how do you remember what you are working on?" So the good news is that the food that you eat today might help you or might protect you from getting Alzheimer's. So, I bet you are thinking now, what type of food can I be eating so I don't get Alzheimer's? And I'm going to tell you that it's not pizza. Although usually pizza is the answer for everything, right? But this time, in this case, it is not. I really wish it was pizza. My daughter is really disappointed. She always asks me to change my research, so the answer is pizza, because she really loves pizza. But one of the interesting things about my topic is how food can be a type of medicine, and we call this nutraceutical. Unlike pharmaceutical, which is expensive and patent, so a nutraceutical is something anyone can easily get. So what does a nutraceutical look like? Well, prepare yourself. This is one that I prepared earlier today. I know Homer Simpson said that you don't make friends with salad, but in this case, he's wrong. You do make friends with salad. In clinical situations, Alzheimer's disease lasts for a really long time. So to find out how nutraceuticals can actually have a benefit to your brain in the lab, we use nerve cells, which are also known as neurons. So we grow neurons in the lab, and we do this under conditions that simulate what happens to the brain cells in Alzheimer's patients. And this technique is called cell culture. This is how healthy neurons look like in cell culture under the microscopes. Cells are elongated, extended, they are making functional connections with each other. They send out chemical and electrical signals to each other through long extensions, and other cells receive these signals through other extensions. And these signals are the basis for memories, sensation, skills, and learning. So the cells are happily communicating together and transferring information to each other. Here's another image of the same group. See how they are happy? Probably this is how my daughter's neurons look like when she sneaks at night to the kitchen to get a chocolate bar. She would have some pretty happy neurons. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative disease, which means that the buildup of toxins inside and between the neurons lead the cells to lose this kind of connections. So the cells become rounded, they lose the cell membrane, DNA fragmentation occurs, nuclear fragmentation occurs, and the cells eventually die. And when you take a photo of those using a different camera, this is how they look like. And this is what happens in the brain of Alzheimer's patients. And this is why the brain shrinks. It is the accumulation of a protein fragment named amyloid beta that interferes with chemical signaling and disrupts cell function. This protein is formed from a larger protein named amyloid precursor protein, or APP. This protein is cut by enzymes named secretases, let's call them scissors, to form this kind of protein fragment. When amyloid beta is formed, it aggregates and accumulates between the cells. This accumulation interferes with cell-to-cell communication, causing cell damage and lead to the symptoms of Alzheimer's, which include problems with thinking and learning and everyday function. To cause neuronal cell damage in the lab, one of the toxins that we use is hydrogen peroxide, which probably women know. This is what you put on your hair to lighten it and to dye your hair. So when you put it on your hair, it's fine. You are not going to get Alzheimer's disease, so you still can dye your hair. But in the lab, when we use hydrogen peroxide, when we add hydrogen peroxide on cells, it causes cell damage. It causes cell death. And the programmed cell death is called apoptosis. And when we measured the pro-apoptotic factors, which are the factors that induce cell death, let's call them Gargamel. And if you don't know Gargamel, this is the bad guy that wants to destroy the Smurfs. We also measured the anti-apoptotic factors, which are the factors that inhibit cell death. And these are Papa Smurf. So we found that hydrogen peroxide gives Gargamel more power over Papa Smurf. Mint is a well-known herb in Egypt and in Australia. And it belongs to a family of plants that has been used traditionally to improve memory. So we got several mint species, crushed the leaves from each species individually, added a solvent to extract the constituents, so we have a mint extract. We found that when we put mint extract on APP, it inhibits the cellulars. So it inhibits the action of the enzymes that lead to the formation of amyloid beta. And even more, mint extract inhibits the aggregation and the accumulation of amyloid beta, even if it has been already formed. We also found that when we add mint extracts to neuronal cells, as if we are feeding them, before subjecting them to hydrogen peroxide, they survive. And Papa Smurf gets his power back. So mint is not just nice in a mojito or in a toothpaste. There are many benefits of being minty fresh. It offers also a neuroprotective activity, which means it might protect you from getting Alzheimer's disease. So, to honor my daughter's request to change my research for pizza to be the answer, maybe next time when you go to an Italian restaurant, just ask them to add a bit of mint over your pizza, then everyone wins. Thank you.